random chunk from the archives.
And I'm delighted to say that joining me here on Centre Court, well, they need no introduction, do they? Bjorn and John. And I think I have an apology to make there, but make you guys watch that, and it's the greatest final ever. And yet, look at what you guys produced.
Well, I was looking at that, and I have to agree. That was the greatest final ever. Me and John, we were joking a little bit, but I think we played a pretty good final too, though. But
oh, absolutely.
We had a few records. He had a lot more than I did. I lost them all. And I thought I could maybe hang on to something, just one record. But that final, quality-wise, was the greatest match I've ever seen. But I will say that historically for our sport, it was really on the rise. So I'd like to hope and think that people will still remember our match 30 years ago.
Well, talking of that, because it's lovely to have you back here 30 years ago.
He looks terrible, doesn't he?
I know. He's getting younger.
No.
It's not fair. No, but it is 30 years ago when these two provided one of Wimbledon's greatest moments. Let's enjoy it once more.
Yes. Well played. Well eaten hard, I believe. Oh, unbelievable shot. Yes, 2 sets all. That's it.
Yeah, 30 years tomorrow it is, the 5th of July. I mean, it's wonderful seeing that, and it can't seem like 30 years, does it?
well,
Yes and no.
well, it's that's a good thing you have in your memory, though. I mean, all the matches I played. I mean, I played against my biggest rivalry in tennis, the guy I respected most on the court and off the court, good friend. And to go back to that particular match, I think that gave us both a lot of satisfaction. Unfortunately, John lost, though, but he beat me the year after. But I think people all over the world remember that particular match, and that meant something for me, and I think it meant something for John.
I'm assuming that it's the same for Bjorn, but I can't begin to tell you how often I have people, tennis fans, come up to me. Number one, tell me they're at the match. So there's 100,000 people in a 15,000 seat stadium that were here that day. But also they talk about that match. I mean, I say this before, 100, 200 times more than any other match I ever played. So I'm quite proud to send the positive message that you actually can somehow come out in a better place when you don't win. See, the British understand that, right?
We do. We've had a
Better than
lifetime of
anyone.
it.
So there's still hope, because I came out better with the press, which was amazing. They actually threw me a bone. The fans, but most importantly the players. You know, I really felt like they looked at me in a different way, and it was thanks to this guy, because early in my career he took me under his wing and accepted me, and that meant a lot. A lot of people saw that the other players in the locker room, that I was a little crazed at times, but when it really got down to it, we got it done on the court, and hopefully brought the sport to a little better place.
I've got to say, we had to wait 30 years for a rematch here, but you did it just a few weeks ago, didn't you? The HSBC Challenge, and we got a few shots. How nerve-wracking was this one? You said it went to another tie-break, did it, Bjorn?
We went to tie-break, and you know, for me to come back and play John at Wimbledon, it was something special. I didn't have. It was my first grass court match, 29 years.
Wow.
So, but to play John, come back, I think HBC, they did a great thing, and Wimbledon too, and to let us come back and play. And you know the thing was, we wanted to play here.
Yes.
And they said no.
We wanted to open it up and have kids come out and play here. But nevertheless, we still thank the Wimbledon club for allowing us to get to court 18, which has become a little more famous because Isner played Mahout, so we warmed it up nicely for them.
Exactly, you did.
And we performed the services of our contract, which stated explicitly we had to go to a tiebreak.
It was great, and we enjoyed watching it again. Now, looking ahead to today's final, in some ways, Rafa, I mean, you were considered very much, dominant force on the clay courts and at Roland Garros, in very much the same way that Rafa was, and yet you came to love this place and have success. So you can understand where he's coming from.
Well, I think, Rafa this year, I mean, he's been playing extremely good tennis, and the match against Andy in the semifinals, he played the best match so far in the tournament. Andy played pretty good, I thought, but Rafa was better. Today, he has a very difficult task against Berdych. I think it's going to be a very, very long match. But the thing is that Rafa is doing well, he's moving well, he's moving the best of all the players, and he's playing the important points very well.
But also, I mean, Rafa, he's playing brutal tennis at the moment. I mean, he's gone up a gear, in this second week.
Well, people forget when they watch Bjorn because they presume the same type of thing that they do with Nadal, that he would stay in the baseline all the time. And he has said, we just talked earlier, he spent a couple hours a day working on his serve because he realized that needed to be a weapon. That's what Nadal did. Well, guess what? Also, Bjorn Borg worked on his volleying game, net play. That's also what Nadal did. The one thing they didn't do, Nadal does a little differently. He's been willing to get closer to the baseline off the return and try to just block the ball back against these power hitters. I still needed a pair of binoculars to see him. He was so far back. Where are you back there? He was so fast, Sue, that he was willing to give himself time to hit my serve, try to get it low to my feet, and then sprint up to net. Because I was going to try and drop volley. That was a given. And he'd be there. I'm like, how the hell is this guy doing this time after time? And he was the one that was a lot fresher at the end than I was.
He's still hurting 30 years on.